Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. About 6 topics for this video. First topic, US military base in northeastern Syria hit by missile attack. I have to remind you that the American military presence in Syria is illegal. So they are illegally sitting on a internationally recognized independent and sovereign country of Syria. The Russians are illegally occupying the territory of Ukraine, but the Americans are doing the same thing in Syria. Why? Combat terrorism. In the meantime, they get the oil. All right, that's the first article, the first topic. The second one, we're going to find out how great our economy is, the United States of America. These guys are telling you that Kamala Harris created so many jobs and Biden created so many jobs and your lives are great. You didn't know that? And I tell you, and if I tell you, you gotta believe me. Even though grocery prices are high, gas and all that, it's okay. And energy, you pay more than you paid a minute ago. It's okay, you're doing just fine. I'm gonna show you the spending spree of the US budget, and the deficit soars. The US deficit, that is how much you earn with how much you spend, soars to $1.8 trillion. You know what a $1 trillion is? That's 1,000 millions. That's how much is it? 1,000 millions. That's how much a trillion is. So you got almost 2,000 millions. Don't believe me? Well, we're going to figure it out with this article, but the article comes from the evil ones, from the Russians, so don't trust them, okay? Numbers lie. Now we got Bidenomics strikes again. US global economic share dips below 15% for first time. That means the United States' economic input, output, how we want to call it, on the global scene, and right now it's 15%. It used to be 21 or 22, if I remember correctly, some years back. That is, we shrink, other people grow. Hey, you like globalization? You like free trade? How did that work for us? Well, some countries got economically strong. Who helped them? Our guys who made their money here, they took their profit, their capital, and invested somewhere else. Yeah, we took advantage of that for some time with some cheap products coming from there, but now those guys say, you know what, we're not going to be your anymore. We are equal. Like the Russians, like the China is the greatest example. All right, so we're going to discuss that one. Opa! Brazil allows X back in business. Remember, a court in Brazil banned X, so you couldn't access Twitter X in Brazil. Why? Because Mr. Elon Musk did not want to, how should I put it? Put it clearly. They say moderate the content, that is censor. Now it's back in business. That means they agreed to censor. So whatever you get in Twitter, it's moderated, which means censored. Someone decides what goes and what doesn't. That's censorship. If it's not illegal, it should be there. Now, let's go. Harris, this baboon, asked Zelenskyy to choose a successor. I don't remember Ukraine being a monarchy, hereditary monarchy. But it doesn't have to. You know why? Because Yermak, she should have spoken with Yermak, not with Zelenskyy. If Zelenskyy leaves, Yermak is still there. So it doesn't really matter. That's my point on this one. Next, we're going to go to Pakistan. And I haven't covered this for some time, Mr. Imran Khan. All right, Mr. Imran Khan, the former Prime Minister of Pakistan, didn't agree with the Americans on imposing sanctions on Russia, and therefore somehow it was a coincidence he was just out. And these guys, Imran Khan is a clearer example maybe than Trump, how these guys, when you don't do what you're told, somehow you're gonna lose all the credibility, and we find out that you did this, you did that, maybe you did this, they're gonna charge you. Now he's charged with attempted murder. Why? because something happened somewhere. All right. This is like, let's say I'm in a concert and I'm singing, and people over there start, fighting or something, and someone dies. And all of a sudden, I am charged with murder. Those guys came over there for me, but I didn't say, hey, you fight with one another. Oh, I'm in charge of, how do you call it, providing protection? I'm a singer, I'm an entertainer. Talk to the guys around me, talk to the venue. Those are the ones, not me. But anyway, I get charged. How imbecilic it is. Well, we find out who are the profiteers of the war. Obviously, the military-industrial complex, and those are the arms manufacturing companies. But without the banks, we find out that Eastern Europe, the rich Eastern Europe, has a spending frenzy of $70 billion to beef up their, they call it defense spending. Why? Because of the Russian threat. And I'm going to show you how it started in 2014 after the Americans got in. No, after the Russians invaded. Oh my God. And we have here a general from France, military general, who prepares for war with Russia. So get ready, my friends. Get ready. Let's start with the beginning. Right here, Sputnik, 13 hours ago, that is today, right? Or maybe yesterday. US military base in northeastern Syria hit by missile attack, Soars. A US military base near the Koniko gas field. There you go. What are they doing over there? They are illegally occupying that territory. In Deir ez-Zur province in northeastern Syria was attacked by several missiles, a source told Sputnik. And I'm quoting, 4 missiles were fired at the US base in Koniko, which resulted in powerful explosions. This is all you need to know, like these guys are, all you need to know about this. This is what you need to know. Syria, independent sovereign country. Someone activated a so-called civil war inside of it, I think in 2006, I think it was, about that time. Anyway, I think it was 2006. I think it was 2016. No, it wasn't 2016. I think it was, or 12. Nevertheless, about 10 years ago. And then after that, you had the ISIS, you had all these guys trained and so on. And the Americans decided to land clop in Syria, just because they can. And they went over there and they occupied the richest part of, oil richest part of Syria, northeast, with the Kurds. Hey, the Turks are out there. So that's big garbage. And then a lot of people, not only the Americans are occupying illegally the territory of Syria, they have no UN mandate that makes it illegal. Got that? Now, when these guys are crying crocodile tears here about Ukraine and the evil Russians invading unprovoked, they do the same thing over there and zip it. They even take the oil. They take the oil. Where are they selling the oil? They don't give the oil to the Syrian people through the legitimate government, UN recognized, international recognized government of Syria, Bashar al-Assad. No. They don't give it over there. They give it to someone else. Now, what is that? You tell me that I should cry tears for Ukraine because these guys are doing what they do to Ukraine and the Russians? No. You are a hypocrite. And, well, I could also charge criminality here too. Next one, let's see how great we are doing. Remember, a deficit in your budget would be you earn $100,000, let's say a year, and you spend $120,000 a year. Your negative, under the water, sunk over there, $20,000. Where do you get those? From your credit cards? Exactly. The credit cards with interest, your children will pay for, not you. So you can't run in this case. Opa, someone woke up, the cat. So here it is. Sputnik, spending spree. U.S. budget deficit soars to $1.8 trillion amid America's military expenditures. You're coming up? Meow meow? You're going to jump up? Right, you want me to pick you up? No, you don't want to pick you up? Okay, come at will, obviously. Independent. So, it grew from 1.7, obviously. CBO estimates indicate a deficit uptick of 11%. So 11% for 1 year. From the 1.7 trillion recorded during fiscal year 2023, the US government spent 6.8 trillion in fiscal year 2024, about 10% more than in 2023. So we're going down, but somehow we're thinking that we're going to have a good life. Under what kind of rules? And who's winning? International banking system and military-industrial complex. Next one, let's see how great these guys are. That is. So, US global economics share dips below 15% for first time. Yeah, exactly. Only that could help you. Ray. The US share of the global economy has tanked below 15% during Joe Biden's presidency by the end of his term, and it's projected to hit a record low of 14.76% according to Sputnik calculation based on data from World Bank and the International Monetary Fund. In 1990, the US accounted for 20.16% of the global economy measured by purchasing power parity, PPP. That shares peaked at 21.01% in 1991. With an economic output of 9.6 trillion compared to a global output of pop. So, what does that mean? We're doing badly. But somehow we talk about Kamala Harris making jobs and we're doing great, and yeah, vote for us. For 4 years you've been in power, and numbers show us it goes down. You tell me where it goes great. It goes great for the companies, for certain companies and certain politicians. So, glab, 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 gloob, glab, 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 when you hear these garbages talking. Next one. Let's see how censorship is reinstated on Sputnik, on X, right there. Brazilian court allows social network X to resume operations in country without agreeing to moderate. No, he is here. Don't go over there, mofo. Not here. Jesus Christ. Everywhere you're not supposed to now. And I lauded it. I talked highly of you a few days ago, how great you are, and now are you still in business here? Jesus Christ. Anyway, let's go. Brazil Supreme Federal Court said it allowed social network X to immediately resume operations in the country after the company met all the conditions set by the court. The resumption of X operations was conditioned by absolute compliance with the judicial decision while respecting national sovereignty. That was not it. It was you have to censor. That's how it was. Next one. So give us a power to monitor you, basically. Let's see how this baboon asked the other baboon what would be the successor. Ukrainska Pravda. Harris asks Zelenskyy, right there, to choose successor if he's killed or captured. like it matters. Just close your eyes, grab the first one, and there you have him. Right before Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2020, U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris urged President Volodymyr Zelenskyy to develop a plan in case he was killed or captured. Doesn't have to. He's got Yermak. Yermak is in charge. Yermak. And the reason why he is in charge, what I think is in charge, look at your country, wherever you might be, and you tell me if you know your chief of staffs or the president's office guy in charge. In America, there's one called Zines. I know he's Jewish. Right, Zines, that's it. But I don't see him anywhere. I don't see him pictured. I don't see him next to Biden all the time. I don't see him next to Biden when Biden travels. I don't see him. But here, you see these guys everywhere. He attends meetings on his own, representing the office. Without Zelenskyy or the Prime Minister, things that Shmihalstein should be over there representing Ukraine is Yermakstein. I mean, it's the same, relatives over there, but still it's in the family. So I don't think it matters whatsoever. Let's see what happened with Imran Khan. Pakistan's Imran Khan is charged with attempted murder over policeman's death in weekend protests. So what happened? In 2022, before the Russians invaded, and after they invaded unprovoked, Imran Khan went to Moscow and spoke to Putin. And he said, I'm not going to impose sanctions on Russia. He tried something like India to be independent. The problem is in Pakistan, Pakistan has CIA over there. US military gets money from it, so it's owned. In Pakistan, the military dictates. It just stays behind and says, So the politicians are ba 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 bi 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 bo bo bo, and the military, ba 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 bi 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 bo bo bo, and the military, So they go the other way around if the military is like, no. And the military is owned by another one because military does the same thing. Looks over there, and the other one is Native America, which is like, That's the way it goes. US, Pakistan, military, and then the political system. Blah, 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 blah. Imran Khan was the prime minister. He got a no confidence vote just like this as soon as he didn't agree with the guys in charge, the Americans. And then to the military, he's got out. He was voted out in no time. And then after that, he remember a few assassinations attempts on him. He got house arrest, and assassination, as I said. They tried to charge him. They imprisoned him. He's in prison right now. And it was a the protest now, trying these guys to come in the town where he is imprisoned over there to hold a rally or something. And these guys closed the city, did not allow the protesters to come because they were afraid they were free this guy. This is very, very democratic. But hey, we support that. We support that greatly, this kind of behavior in all sides. So what happened here now? Pakistani police I'm surprised that this guy is still alive. Let's start with this one. He's old, but, they think that he's going to die by natural causes. I didn't think so. Pakistani police have charged the country's imprisoned former Prime Minister Imran Khan with attempted murder over the death of a policeman during violent protests last weekend by his supporters. Khan, who has been behind bars since 2023, is accused of inciting people to violence. They said police urged that Khan, who had urged his followers to rally on his behalf and demand his release from prison, had allegedly incited his supporters, leading the killing of Officer Papapap. So everything is alleged here. Remember, he said urge to rally and demand his release. Now, if that something happens over there, are you still liable? I don't think you are. That's why they try to do the same thing to Trump with that garbage in January 6th. All right, so this is the democracy in Pakistan that we fund and control. Let's go to these big profiteers out of Bloomberg. Eastern Europe's $70 billion frenzy to plug defense spending gap. Defense spending gap compared to whom? According to whom, or in relation to whom? To the United States of America? Is that what I'm talking about? Relative to whom's defense spending? Defense. They call it defense, but actually it's war. Defense. If Americans call their defense Secretary of Defense. It's not Secretary of Defense or Department of Defense, when they're always somewhere else. But hey, they defend us by attacking and pushing shit. This is the world of oppositions. White is black, up is down, like Alice in Wonderland. All right, so Slovakia's president. So we got all these guys. How much? All right, how much they get. Here is a little graph. Look at this. Eastern Europe responds to Russian aggression, not to the coup d'etat, right here in 2016. Not to the coup d'etat, right here. It's just the Russian aggression. Why? In 2016, I mind you, 2014, it was the coup in Kiev. And these guys took over and started arming. The other guys responded, the guys in the provinces with ethnic Russians. We don't have to go over that again. And it's the Russians who are the bad. Oh, the boogeyman was created. Therefore, you gotta pay. And they paid right here. Instead of going to your infrastructure, you pay for weapons that are gonna stay over there old, are gonna get old. And after that, you give them to someone else. And you receive another ones. You pay for them. All of this. And you see the level. Russia's annexed Crimea, full-scale invasion, right there, man. Total defense spending, military equipment spending estimates. Great. And we have a map to see this. So Poland and Estonia lead the way. They're good, man. They lead the way on NATO spending. That is American manufacturing companies and sometimes Rheinmetall. All right, so defense expenditures as share as GDP based on 2024 estimates, based on GDP. And we have right here Poland, Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania, and we have Greece being 2.5%. The ones with light, whatever that kind is, red is 2 point, it's 2.2 point, right, between 2 point and 2.3. Great Britain is 2.3 and 2.5, and so on. These are the baboons right here. Right here. And Finland is over there as well. And these guys are they're lag behind. They lag behind. Eastern Europe, you gotta get from your project that you don't implement anyway and buy some weapons. A defense, mind you. From whom? Why? We got a boogeyman. Russia will invade you tomorrow. Luckily, we have American troops on our territory defending us. All right, let's go to this baboon French general. Sputnik. 21 hours ago, French general prepares for war with Russia as proxy armies show signs of exhaustion. And this I'm quoting, "We used to play war," the general says. "Now there's a designated enemy, Russia, and we train with people with whom we'd actually go to war." French Land Forces Commander General Bertrand Toujous told European media, commenting on France's plan to deploy a brigade's worth of troops to Romania for the Dacian Spring 2025 drills next May. Good job, man, right here. The exercises are expected to test the alliance's ability to assemble forces on NATO's eastern frontier and should send a strategic signal to the alliance's adversaries, he said. The French military is set to send 3,000 to 5,000 combat-ready troops to Romania in 10 days' time during the drills. Got it? In June, the ministry said that the army's goals included the ability to deploy a battle-ready combat division of 19,000 troops and 7,000 vehicles in a month's time, up from the estimated 6 months it takes to do so. So you're gonna fight. Look at this baboon. You're gonna fight the Russians. I'm not gonna go over it. They're gonna tell you how much NATO invested and what kind of drills they did and so on. So you're gonna fight the Russians. You're getting ready to fight the Russians. You are going to fight the Russians, not the general. The general is going to be 3,000, no, not 3,000, 3 trillion thousand millions, billions kilometers, miles, nautical miles from the war. And they will be over there commanding you to go and fight the Russians. That's what's going to happen. And your families, the Romanians, will be bombarded with nuke by the Russians at the Eastern Front. But the baboon French is going to be far away in Tahiti. That's exactly what he's going to do. That's what awaits for you. And don't worry, it's going to get him late at one point. You know what he's going to do? He's going to say, peace now. Let's make peace. We had enough destruction. When that's going to harm him a little bit. But he doesn't care about you. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.